I meant to have this video come out a good little bit ago, but you know, better late than never. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to be doing my final wrap up for the month of July, finishing up all of the things that I read for readathon that I'm pretty late on, as well as some big announcements and stuff that we'll talk about here. And spoiler alert, the big channel update is I started a Patreon. So if you don't care about that, I'm going to get into the wrap up about books first, and we'll talk about that later. So there's a timestamp and all that, so that you can skip past that if you do want to. One thing I will mention really quick though is I do have a link in the description to a Kickstarter that is for the Collation Saga by Andrew D. Meredith. There's an opportunity there to get the fourth book, The Dread Knight, which I have read and is excellent. It's the end of kind of the first arc, and it is just such a great series, one that I know I've talked about a lot. You can also get hardcovers for the first time ever and new art for everything, so definitely check it out. I'm really excited about it, so I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that here as well. But let's get into talking about the books. So I did end up changing most everything that I was planning to read toward the end. I added a lot of stuff that I was not planning on and just kind of switched up because I needed some shorter stuff, and I'd been mood reading all month, and it worked really well actually, and I've kind of kept it going a bit here this month. But so the first thing is I finished up Acceptance, which is the third book in the Southern Reach trilogy, and I did the whole trilogy. I reread Annihilation, the first one, and then read these, and it was really good. I still do. I see why people say the first book is their favorite, and I agree. I did do a kind of review / talking about the Area X, the Southern Reach trilogy in general, that are here, and I talking more about my thoughts overall. But I thought it was really worth a read, and I'm still very excited to get to the fourth one, which I actually hoped to have read by now, this late in the month as of filming this. But I still haven't started it. But I will be reading it really soon, and then talking about that as well. So check out the video there, but yeah, this is just weird sci-fi. The first book, it's like sci-fi with some like psychological thriller and horror and all kinds of weird elements to it, and it's just going down the rabbit hole, and you get some answers here for sure, but there's still a lot more you don't know, and so that's why I'm really excited for the next book. But I enjoyed my time with that. And then I did finish the Golem's Eye was the other one I had going at the time, and I ended up deciding not to continue and read the third book, Ptolemy's Gate, and then the book like half, the Ring of Solomon, which I have never actually read before because that came out after. But I decided not to continue because these are a lot longer than I thought, and it was taking me, despite them being very easy reading, it was taking me a lot longer to get through them, and I just kind of bounced to some different stuff. So I still had a really good time with these. These are both, I think the first two were probably about 4-star reads for me, still, like as an adult, and there are things I definitely remembered, some things that I didn't, and so I still am looking forward to. I'm going to do kind of a video talking about the whole series once I do actually finish all of them. I don't know when that's going to be because I also am not getting to them this month, so we'll see. I'll definitely still be popping them in to get to them, but I just kind of, not that I wasn't enjoying them, but I've very much been just mood reading, and it's been working for me pretty well, so I'm going to keep it going. And then something I wish I could say that I was enjoying and it didn't read because of mood, but no, I've had this for years. This is Heat Wave by Richard Castle, which is the character that Nathan Fillion played on the show Castle, and this is like a promotional book for the show. And based on what it is, this is exactly what I would have expected, and so it was no surprise I didn't like it. But this is just, it's the edgy, pulpy detective kind of thing, and I bounced off of this so hard. It's not the kind of thing that I read or enjoy for the most part, and that's why I never read it, for the record. I didn't think I was actually gonna like this. It's just cool, and I liked having it. But I immediately see, now I feel like I have to get rid of it because I will never read this. I barely got through the first couple of pages, and it was just not for me. I think it's very much intentionally like that sort of thing. So, you know, if you like this sort of thing, you may end up enjoying it, but it was not for me. And then I did something also, which I probably wouldn't have picked up outside of Readathon, but I was looking for something short, but that still met the requirement. So I did Murderbot, the first book, All Systems Red. And I did not expect to like this. This is one that I'd heard about. It did not sound like it was for me. And so even though a lot of people really enjoy it, and I know a lot of people also, And for me, it was okay. So I feel like I was in the middle. I've been told there wasn't a lot of middle, but I was pretty in the middle. I do. I have a review that should be coming out hopefully soon for this. This is one that would have been out probably the week that my computer was messed up. Because if I didn't mention, the reason everything's so late is because I went to film this video and my computer died, and I had to take it somewhere and get it fixed. And thankfully it was actually ended up being something they could do fairly easily and without being crazy expensive. But this would have come out during that time, and so hopefully this week it'll be coming out. But yeah, I thought it was fine. I feel like most people have heard about it, but it's, you have sort of a, like, part cyborg type of thing, and they're supposed to just follow orders and be security, but Murderbot, as he calls himself, just wants to watch soap operas, and so it's okay. Like, I didn't find it all that funny or that engaging, but I thought it was fine. It was very quick reading, but it's to the point where, like, this was maybe like a 3.5 or something. So like I'd consider trying the next one, and seeing what I think, because they are short. So honestly, better than I expected. And then I did a couple of novellas from this. This is a collection. This is Penrick's Progress, which has Penrick's Demon and Penrick and the Shaman, and then ends with the last one, which I think is called Penrick and the Fox is the last one. And I did these actually. The first two I did on audio, and then the last one that I started reading, and I really liked the first one, Penrick's Demon. It's like the basis here is because this also I liked a different book. This is a part of the World of Five Gods series by Lois McMaster Bujold, but most of them are kind of separate, and there are quite a few. There's a couple of other bind-ups. There's like 9 or 10 Penrick novels or novellas, I think. But this cover made me think, like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this, but the start of it is Penrick is kind of a spin on what you would normally see for, like, the princess. He's a young noble, but from, like, a really unimportant family, so he's just supposed to get married off to, like, a well-to-do merchant family, basically. But then he ends up accidentally taking on a demon when he tries to help a sorceress who he is having issues on the road and ends up dying. And because he's the only one around, the demon goes into him, and it's a female demon, and normally they would have kept it with a female basically for that. And so kind of some fun stuff there. I liked the first one a lot more than I liked the second one, but the second one was still pretty solid. And then I got like halfway through the third one, and then it was just, like I said, just kind of random mood reading. So it's not a DNF. I will get back to it. I just, for some reason, I moved on to other things, and so I didn't end up going back to that one. But that was actually not in July, now that I think about it. That was in August anyway, so it doesn't count. But yeah, so that was that one. And then I was looking at other, like I said, I just was, toward the end of the month, I was looking for random stuff, especially audio and shorter. So I did Failure is an Option by H. John Benjamin, which was something my library had on audio, and it was pretty short. And I thought listening to an audiobook that's narrated by Archer, or I guess Bob from Bob's Burgers, if you like that show too, but I thought that would be fun. And it was. This was solid. I don't really do a lot of memoirs, and this one was, it was fine. I gave this about 3 stars because there were some legitimately funny or like insightful things, but then there was also a running joke about how he needed filler because he had to write a certain amount of words and couldn't do it. And the first time it was kind of funny, but it just kind of wore on. So there were definitely points where it felt like legitimately he probably could have used some help actually writing this, but I still had a solid time with it. And if nothing else, just listening to H. John Benjamin narrate the book was a lot of fun. So I did enjoy that as well. And then I also did, which was a reread, but I was able to get the audio from my library. And I'd never listened to the audio before, so I was excited. The first of the Prydain Chronicles, the Book of 3. And yeah, like I said, I was curious what the audio would be like. And it wasn't bad, but I have to say I was very disappointed by the voice of Gurgi because I feel like it could have and should have been much sillier. And in my head when I read it, I always do a much sillier voice. But it was kind of fun. I don't know. Just to go back and try out the audio there too. I don't know if I'll end up listening to the others at some point, but it's a series that I'm gonna reread at points because it's just kind of that classic series from my childhood that I really absolutely love. So I had a good time with that as well. And then closing out my last read of the month was Victory of Eagles by Naomi Novik, which is the fifth Temeraire book. and it's sort of the end, I think, of the arc that's been going here in these first ones. And I've been a little bit mixed on this series overall. This one, though, I think may have been my favorite since maybe the first or the third, I guess. It was in the upper half. The first is still my favorite, but I don't know if I liked this one or the third one more. They were both really good. So I quite enjoyed this one, and really got a lot more of exploration. Got to see Temeraire in action a little bit more, and more like POVs from Temeraire, and also just what the character of Lawrence is going through, and kind of the really complex emotions there as well. I still really had a good time here. So this is one I've been buddy reading with Murphy, and we've been kind of doing, I think, every other month. And I actually was supposed to read this in August, I think, but I forgot, so I ended up doing it in July. But I did it right at the end of the month, so it was pretty close anyway, so it worked out. But yeah, I've been generally enjoying this. I don't know. I don't know if I'll continue on right now, but it's one that I'd be interested to continue, but I've not been super invested in either. So kind of middle ground for me here as well. But that's Temeraire. So those are really the things that I read in July that I still need to talk about. So a fair amount still in the last little bit of the month. I'd done an update or two, I think, during, but that's where we landed. So if you're still here, and this is where, like I said, I didn't want to do this at the beginning of the video, but if you're still here and are interested, I did start a Patreon. It is live now, and you know, I'm not gonna do the whole like why dedicated video. Why did I start a Patreon? I mean, I started a Patreon for the same reason anybody does, because you know, running a booktube channel is you know, actually does cost money, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of money. And just between, you know, getting books, trying to have better equipment or editing, heck, having a P.O. box is also way more expensive than I feel like it should be. So I'm at a pretty big net loss for the channel, and obviously I know I'm never going to be somebody who's like making a ton of money, but you know, a little bit would help. And especially I've cut back a lot on buying books and kind of book stuff like that too, since having a child. And so I think this is a good opportunity that if people want to support, and it'll be a good way that I can kind of interact with people a little bit more too, but also, you know, help give a little bit of income going in there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what we're doing, and why we are starting it. And I will have links down below. Check it out if you're interested. Like I said, I'm not gonna try and like guilt people or be somebody who's like constantly talking about it, but it's there if you're interested. So you can check out the link. And I also am slightly late now at this point to announce the winner of the giveaway for this beautiful Song of the Mysteries hardcover by Janie Wirtz. So we'll cut to that really quick. And there we have it. So congratulations to the winner. I will get this sent out here soon. Happy to get another copy of that into someone's hands. But yeah, so that's really it for this one. Everything that I've been reading and the announcements and so forth. So I will be continuing with what I've been doing with reading, trying to do review copies, and then I'll, you know, the month of August is going to be over before we know it. So we'll have another update probably before too long. But otherwise, you want to find out more about what's going on right now, check the Patreon out, and we'll have some stuff up there for you too. But that's really it for this one. Make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the link in the description for all my links, including the Discord if you want to chat books, whether any of the books talked about here, other books, really anything at all. It's a lot of fun. We love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.